Betty. Okay, so I know this is kind of a little bit last minute and a little bit impromptu, and oh, my light's not on. Oh, there. Now I can see you. Okay. So I finally got the tax stuff done, and my brain is just mushy from trying to find stuff and do stuff and figure stuff out. And so what I figured was I would just come on and come live for a few minutes tonight, and I want to do 2 more rows of the blanket, the butterfly blanket. So I'm going to cut those while we're chatting, and I'll tell you about my day. And I have to do this gnomes one. I don't know what to do with this gnomes, this fabric. I was going to do a rag quilt, but maybe it would be fun if I did the rag quilt with and the phone's been ringing off the hook today. Absolutely off the hook. I don't know what, just so much. Anyway, whatever. Lost my train of thought. Okay, so the gnome. I guess I could do a rag quilt. I could do larger squares and maybe alternate it with this. That's got a little potentially idea. Hello. Okay, so prep for eternity homestead. Thanks for coming on. But tell me what your first name is, please. So I don't keep calling you prep for eternity. I mean, it's good, Madeline. Hi, Madeline. So I don't keep calling you by it's maybe good for your channel, but Jennifer. Okay, so Jennifer's here, Madeline's here, and a bunch of people just watching. I'm gonna cut 2 more rows for the butterfly because I want to get that one finished, and maybe I'll get them sewn up tonight. Wild and crazy day. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This is one of those days, where you need just like a brain dump type. Do some, Hi, Sandra. I just need something that doesn't require a whole lot of, brain work. So I figured I would quilt the rest of this. I would cut the rest of this, the last 2 rows for this, and then we'll get them sewn, and then we'll kind of see where we're at. Getting Chinese for dinner. I can tell you that right now. I'm not cooking. Still have the rest of the week to do, but at least I got the tax stuff off. Poor girl. Now it's her problem. So we're gonna do, okay, so what did I do? I did 6 across. So 12. Hello to your Stephen, Minnie too. Minnie is up. Oh no, it goes on the floor. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm super excited to get this one done so I can get it in the washer. Oh, tomorrow's video. I think we may have to redo the hair towel thing. I discovered something because I've been using it the last 2 days. What I discovered was I didn't do the inside seam. I didn't roll that enough times. And then somebody had mentioned, oh, you should like zigzag stitch or serge those seams. And so I think I'm going to redo one and do it a little bit better and a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, around, the part that goes around your head. And then we'll also do the dimensions. I'll do it a little bit slower because I won't be waiting to go to dinner. And we'll finish that one up so that everybody has the exact measurement, the accurate measurements, and we'll sew it up the right way. Because it just, the pictures not even there. Because it frayed. It's got to be done. It's got to be rolled a couple more times over. But so far, other than that, I was pretty pleased. It's nice and absorbent. It's always nice to have a nice new piece of terry cloth. Okay. So tomorrow is hair towels. We're gonna repeat the hair towel day. Okay, what did I do these at? I did these at 8 inches. Did I? 8 inches, is that what we did? Yeah, 8. Okay, so 8 inches, I need 12. So how are you guys doing today? Hump day, halfway there. We're almost done. So I'm getting takeout for them, which we don't really do very often. But today, we've been trying to eat a lot less. We've been trying to eat, for a little bit there, we were eating a little bit too much fast food or whatever. I mean, not really a lot, because I don't know if y'all have gotten like fast food. It's crazy expensive. And that just drives me bananas. When I know that I can make my family good food, if they're going to eat bad food, they may as well eat my bad food. It has less preservatives in it and less grease and fat and, right? But usually you're eating better food, right? Where's my big water? Anyway, so we really have tried not to do that. The other issue is the pricing. Hello? Unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable in my opinion. Okay, so that's up. How expensive fast food is. Not gonna lie, super over that. And it's not like you're getting really great food or a lot of it, So anyway, so that's what I'm doing tonight. And thank you all for, oh my gosh, we had so many comments about the Jelly Roll Race quilt. I wish, if you can imagine. I was going to say, I wish I had 2 of those rolls. I would have made it twice as big. But you know what? I really don't. I think it's a nice size for just popping on the couch. So I just got to get it finished up now. That's going to be the challenge. We cook so much better meals, more delicious and healthy, and way less cost. We're way better off. Absolutely. It's, I'm just shocked when we go to get burgers or something. And it's literally Steve and me. And 90% of the time, we don't get anything from any chicken nuggets or chicken or anything like that, because she's a very picky eater. And it's always $25, $26. What is fast food like burgers? No. Can't do that. Cannot do that. Okay, so what is everybody working on? Working on something fun? I think I need to, course, I'm also going to do 4 layers, but I probably could have changed out my blade. But this is going to be quick. And I'm super bummed because won last season Downton Abbey. Gosh. I really enjoyed that show. I really did. I enjoyed it that it's just that I'm not like in the evening when when we kind of wrap up the day, that I'm not just like mindless. It's not just a mindless scroll. In addition to people get super nasty on that. You know what I'm working on, but I'm almost done. Yes, her completely 100% quilted and designed and done all by hand. I can't wait to see it. Madeline, cannot wait to see that thing. Wow. And I was on some, I don't remember what I was on. I don't remember if I was on Amazon or what I was on, but I was looking at some cross stitch and needlepoint, like those little starter kits. That's what I was thinking. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 8. Oh, that's enough. That's all I need, I think. Let's see if we can get through all those. All right, let's see here. So we'll just get the bottom lined up. Okay, like this. Yeah, I really enjoyed Downton Abbey, and James Patterson has a new book out. There's squirrels in the backyard. I know, just all over the place. Squirrel. James Patterson has a new book out called The Writer, I think. I think it's called The Writer. Oh, it's getting good reviews. I'd like to read that one. But that's not my next read. My next read is going to be Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister, who I really like. She's a very good writer. Covenant of Water is almost done. Just a few, I don't know. I could probably finish it tonight if I wouldn't fall asleep reading it, because that's my problem. I get into bed. It's a pattern I found called mathematics. Just found it on Bits and Pieces website. I just made it my own. It's going to be amazing. Going to be amazing, Madeline. Cannot wait. You got to post it on the Facebook page. That's going to be cool. My problem is that by the time I get out of, I take, get that kitchen cleaned up, right? Okay, so 4, right? 4. Okay, there's 4. By the time I get the kitchen cleaned up, get all the house tidied, just random stuff. Throw a little wash, switch over a little laundry. I'm going to do the ironing during the masters, I've decided. Right? What else? Please. With my feet up. Right. I want to get the ironing done. And I've decided to stop stressing over it. The other day I was like, oh, you know what? I want to get the ironing done. So I'm going to get the ironing done, and then I'll get on the taxes. I think maybe you should do the tax stuff first and the ironing. So that's what I did. But yeah, it's piling up. And the problem is that I leave stuff. I don't, just because I work from home, I don't jump up as soon as stuff's done. And I have a bad habit of putting stuff in the dryer at night. I'll switch a load up, and then I, by the time I get to it in the morning, okay, 4, 8, 12, right? Right. Okay, so there's the front. Okay, now let's do the back. I also have, so you said, oh, what are you going to do on your challenge thing? Oh, I said, oh, I'm gonna cut some flannel up, and then I'm gonna clean up the sewing room. I got this. I don't even remember. I think it's a yard. Yeah, it was the end of the bolt, I think. there was hardly anything left, or it may have been like a remnant almost. But it's kind of a canvas fabric. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with this. It's about the same fabric. I think Sandra, you have a chair, don't you? An arrow chair? Shout out to arrow chairs. Love it. If you take a jelly roll, cut strips in half, so they're 2.5 by 20, and sew them the same way. So the first half of strips, then continue with the second half of strips, you'll have another pattern quilt. So it'd be like, yes, living in your chair. Okay, so this fabric that I have is like the fabric on the chair. I don't know what to do with it, and I only have a yard. So I'm open to ideas. Okay, you take the jelly roll, cut the strips in half, and then basically what? Do the same thing? Do it like sew it like a jelly roll race? Or do the first set of strips like a jelly roll race, then do the second set of strips like a jelly roll race, and then put it all together. That sounds, the one thing I was, the only thing that I would have changed about the one that I just did is all of the, oh, here's one. Guess I have extra. Is I didn't get a lot of my strips, oh, I confused you. A lot of my strips ended up like the full length of it because I didn't cut it again and do it again. I think on my last jelly roll, I think I cut it one more time, and I think somehow it may have staggered it a little bit. I don't know. My last one was just a little bit more staggered. Like there weren't just like so many long rows. I had more variety in it. More shorter rows somehow. And I can only think of that I must have broken it up. I mean, I must have cut it one more time, but I'm not 100% sure. Two. So anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about originally now. So there's that. Okay, so now I just do 10 more. So anyway, that's been the week. More staggered. Yeah. See, that's what I'm wondering if I may have done that or done something different. I could have just cut it one more time, but I don't know. For some reason, I have a feeling it may have been something a little bit more than that. Maybe I did what you're saying, Sandra. That could have been it. Okay. So, do like so. It was chillier today. Stunning. It was beautiful. But it was make a tote bag. Oh, that's a really good idea. That is a really good idea. And tote bag is on my list of things. Hi, Julie. Welcome to Quarter Inch Seam. I didn't even welcome or introduce myself at all. Just started rambling. Anyway, that's on my list. I started this list before we started the 30-day, sew with me thing. And I started a list because Steve was like, well, what are you going to sew? And I was like, well, I can't sew the same quilt every day for 30 days. And that's about how long it takes me to finish something. So he said, make a list of some smaller projects that you could do that would go faster. So that's what I did. And tote bag is on there. And this would be adorable. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to think about it for over the weekend maybe, is I'm going to make like the perfect tote bag. Like for me, you know what I mean? I have a gazillion. Like I've got a closet that with a whole shelf just full of tote bags and canvas bags and paper, handle bags and all that kind of crap. Stuff that was given to us at shows and stuff that was free and stuff that we bought and Barnes and Noble bags and, but inevitably, there's either one or two that I gravitate towards, or they're just never quite right. So I'm going to have to think that one out. Julie, excellent idea. That's what that's going to be. Okay. My biggest thing is usually when we go out, again, it's really stimulating conversation here, isn't it? When we go out, I always take my book. Why? Can I just bring a Kindle? Yeah, but then I have to buy the book on Kindle and have the actual book that I have, and so we're not doing that. There's big bookshop. There's another big book sale, used book sale. Friends of the library. So if you live in Central Florida, if you're anywhere near the Gulf, Homosassa Library is having their book sale this weekend. It's kind of small, but it's very cozy. It's a great little small town book sale. So I'm going to hit that probably. I may go Friday if I can. If not, over the weekend. And it's great. On theirs, I always find some really good, like I'll find relatively current books. Okay, so that comment was from Steve. I have the Laura Star iron. I call it my Bentley. Yep, love my chair and iron. Oh, I'll have to check out the iron. Steve just bought me a brand new iron this year. So I'm probably a little ways off from getting a new iron, but I'll have to check that out, Laura Star. And Steve says, yes, she does. We need a storage unit for all the tote bags. I just have this thing about tote bags, about bags. We can go to like a trade show or something like that, or we used to go to more, but or go to a home show or something like that. And if somebody's giving away a bag, I will run over old ladies to go and get a bag. I don't know why. I could open a store. Still gotta have one. Always come on with the bags. Because you never know when you're gonna need a bag. You never know when you're gonna have to haul something, right? And so I have a thing for bags. And then my mom comes to town and she's like, Angela, don't you think we could get rid of some of these? We don't need all these bags. I tell you what, but my mom is not my grandmother was a little bit of she wasn't a hoarder. So don't go down that road. Okay? She wasn't a hoarder. But she was, when I was growing up, we called pack rat. She was a pack rat. When she had dementia. And so about 2 years before COVID, again, 2 years before everybody in the world got sick at the same time, 2 years, give or take, she'd gotten sick. She'd fallen outside while my mom was at work, and she didn't tell anybody because she knew she'd get in trouble. Not like get in trouble, but my mom would come down on her because she was outside walking around and she didn't have her cane or her walker or what have you. And whatever she was using at the time, probably a walker. A cane. And she fell. And she banged up her leg or her thigh pretty well. Anyway, so she ended up going to bed. It's a long story. She ended up going to bed. She didn't tell anybody. But it was really bothering her. She had really bad feet. And she couldn't, I think she was bruised to the point not where she had done like real damage, but she was just, she was in pain. She may have sprained something, I don't remember. Anyway, she ended up getting an infection. She ended up getting a UTI. And one day my mom went home from work. She tried to get out of bed. My grandmother did. and she'd fallen. She'd fallen by the side of her bed, and she sat there on the floor all day long because she couldn't get herself up. And so that was 3 days later. She was at the emergency room because they knew something was really wrong, and they took her to the emergency room. And then the doctor was a really, really good doctor, and had been her doctor for a long, long time. Told my mom that couldn't let her go home, and he couldn't keep her in the hospital. And so 4, 8, 10, we just need 2 more. So they arranged for her to go to, and it was a really nice home. You're not in your own home. But by then, mentally she was really far gone. Anyway, then the you know what hit, and they had done a really, really good job of keeping everybody pretty healthy, but she got it, and she passed away. Yeah, my grandma. Anyway, back to the pack run. So then my mom went home, and over the course of the time that she was gone, and she kind of started going through her cabinets and things. Oh, geez. A lot of stuff. I'll tell you the funny stories about a lot of stuff that she had. Anyway, so she was a pack rat, and my mom is the exact opposite. She keeps special things, but not a lot of them. Like, she doesn't keep every paper that we did when we were kids. She keeps enough to remind everybody that we were in school. That's, she keeps enough. And she's not a pack rat. She likes order and tidy, and that's where I get most of it until you come here and it looks like a bomb's gone off. Okay. Grams are so precious. She was, and I wish that she had been able to, Alzheimer's, dementia. It's awful. Ravishing disease. And I hate it. Okay. Chipper note. Let's, so we're going to do the X's. Get these sewn down. The funny thing is, we've done so many little projects since we started the secret is Angela was named after. I'm like, yeah, I was. We have ducks. Oh, there's ducks in the yard. It's a couple. It's like a pair. I know because she has a little dress on. No, just kidding. They come around, they hang around here now every day because we throw, don't come for me, okay? Don't come for me. We toss some bird seed out along the hedge bushes, and because I like all the nature. Minnie loves the nature. We just, with my mother-in-law who had dementia, it's awful. And you think about the people that have, my grandmother lived a pretty amazing life. She did some really cool things. And even if she hadn't done some really cool things, even if she hadn't lived like an amazing life, like she was ours. You know what I mean? And so it's that theft of it that, and I'm going to try not to get on a soapbox. So if you have an opinion that differs from me, that's okay. But for all of the things that we spend money on in this country, we should have taken half of that money and figured out how to stop dementia and Alzheimer's from progressing and figured out a cure for cancer. Just saying. I'm just saying. We spend a lot of money on a lot of stuff in this country and in this world. And it absolutely disgusts me. Sorry. It disgusts me that so many of these types of organizations, a huge bulk of their funding comes from them having to go out and again, Sandra, ALS is another one. They get a hold of somebody, they're just ravishing diseases, and so many of these organizations, the bulk of their funding comes from private fundraising. Just if the government has money to do wonderful things and help as many other countries as we do, we should solve those things because it would help everybody in the world. Help everybody in the world. Everybody in the world is dealing with these diseases, except for very few. And we've just lost too many amazing people, and they shouldn't have to go out and beg the company. Oh, see, get on my soapbox. I'm not paying attention. You shouldn't have to go out and beg people for, $2, $3, $5 donations. It's ridiculous. Okay. So yeah, I do have quite the bag stash. Like, share, and subscribe. You can go out of the chat, do all these things, and come back. We'll be here. Oh, yes. Please like, subscribe, and share. Share. Have other people come join us. This one's going up. This one will be up when we're done. It'll go up. It'll go up in the live. I don't know if Steve has a way. I don't know of these things. So I don't know if he has a way to put it where it'll just come up in the regular part of the, YouTube. I don't know. I don't know these things. Not my job. But I just figured that today I was just feeling like sitting and chatting with y'all for a little bit and having it be a little bit low key. Like I said, mentally and here's the other problem after I do the taxes, which I really am. I'm really trying to focus some time in addition to doing my normal work stuff. And and this sewing is trying to really get. I need to get the sewing room organized, and I need to get my office and my filing stuff. Has just when we'd had a small office in town, and we no longer have that office, and Steve, we both just work here now. When I did that, and probably leading up to that, being kind of diverted from one, I had two different places that I was constantly, am I working here? Am I working there? And I just completely lost control of like filing and keeping stuff tidy. And I got to get that. I really am ambitiously hoping that I can get stuff back under control this month. To be honest with you, maybe what I should do is start a Facebook channel of watching me organize my office, because then I'd really get my butt in gear. Because it's done the trick for me with my sewing. I have allocated time every single day to come and sew something. When I'm telling you right now, there have been like weeks that go by where I'm like, I don't have time, I don't have the energy, whatever. Okay, comments. And forfeit their enormous salaries. At least be reasonable with their salaries. It's gross. I know. Yeah, priorities a little bit. Right? Yep. A lot of stuff we gotta fix in this country. It's a great country. It's the best one on the planet. But we got stuff to fix. We have our own messes. Okay. Hope I'm gonna get through these. Then I'm gonna run. I gotta run to the store really quick, and then we're gonna grab some. When I say we're getting Chinese, it's Panda. That's what we have in town. The other place we have in town that does Chinese food. You should not go and do that. Yeah, like sometimes when my mom comes to town, it's almost good because there's some stuff that, like oh my god, and we have bunnies in the yard right now. We have, they're duplicating like bunnies. They're everywhere. And when we lived in California on the golf course that we live near, in the evenings, Steve would take her out in the golf cart, and it was so tucked in, we never worried about her. I mean, she never got out of our sight, but it wasn't like she could run into a road. And she would chase the bunnies along the golf course and the ducks. Oh my God, you've never seen a dog so happy. And she's about their size. And we've missed that. Like we haven't had a lot of that. And I'm liking the way that we've kind of gotten our backyard a little bit more, not really, it's not gated or anything, but we've kind of planted a lot of shrubs and that kind of thing. So you can't really, it's harder for her to get out. So we can let her out down and kind of let her chase the bunnies. Come on, the bunnies out here. Anyway, so yeah, it's nice when my mom comes because sometimes I can just hand her, like I was telling her the other day, my client files. My paper client files, most of my stuff is electronic, but I also have a paper backup. And I told her, I just need them alphabetized. Like I just need them, they've gotten so either from me looking for something or I don't know what, but they've just gotten out of control. And so, it just becomes this big stack of paper that's just, it's a simple task, but Madeline, I'm very bad at OCD. My friend tells me the purpose of sewing was you can just stop and walk away. I can't. I need to clean up after each time I'm in there. So smart. That's one thing that I'm kind of, I'll tell you what, ladies, I'm a little bit not hesitant to do it right now, but maybe one day this weekend, maybe I won't do it while we're on. Because you end up bending over and you're in terrible, the positions that you end up, you're bending over. Nobody wants to stare at my rear end. I don't want to stare at my rear end. But anyway, I don't want to just like put stuff into bins. I don't want to just take my fabric and like put it into a bin. Okay, the fabric's in there. Like I want to create a little bit more. That's what is missing right now from this is I can tidy it up, but I want to get it a little bit more organized. I want it to have a little bit more rhyme and reason. And it doesn't have that right now. My office doesn't have that right now. And it makes me very anxious, like that mess, that untidiness, it makes me very anxious because I'm relatively that way in the rest of my house. Like there's never stuff out on my counters other than the stuff that should be out on your counter, like my coffee pot and the toaster and that kind of thing. The counters are always cleaned. I try to keep the floors cleaned. I don't have laundry all over the place. My home is tidy. Is it always dust free? No. But it's always tidy. And I mean, before I go to bed at night, I come back out and, you know, empty out the dishwasher. Because I don't like to do it the next day. It feels like a waste of time. I would rather take the, like, 5 minutes, because literally that's about all it takes me. The 5 or 6 minutes that it takes to empty it at night. I keep hitting the cut button instead of the use the foot. So here's what happens. I come inside to, you know, wrap the day up. We're done with dinner, blah, blah, blah. Coming in to go take a shower. And I say to myself, as I'm turning all the lights off and that kind of thing, I say to myself, just, you know what, tired, just go take a shower, do the dishwasher in the morning. It's not a big deal. And I say, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. And I take a shower. Before my hair is even blow dry, I come out and do the dishwasher. Because I just can't help myself. So, you guys get it. There's just certain things that, man, it just absolutely rings your bell. See, this is what I needed today. I just needed a little kind of downtime, right? I just needed to come in here for a little bit and just unwind and yeah, stuff that didn't happen or didn't get done the way I wanted it to today. It is what it is. So, what I'd like is, I'd love to get even like those IKEA ones. And I'd love to find something a little more style. But if we live closer to an IKEA, I'd probably already be looking. I should go online and look. Is those kind of, they're not really bookshelves, but they're cabinets. But hello, so and so. That's hysterical. What are you working on? We are sewing the, welcome to the channel, 1/4 inch seam. I'm Angela. We are finishing, we did a rag quilt earlier last week, and it's a little small. It needs to be a little bit longer. So we're adding 2 more rows before I can snip it, you know, rag it, and wash it. And so, right now, that's what I'm doing. Although maybe that question was actually directed to everybody else and not really at me. Since it could be obvious what I'm working on. Anyway, so I'm hoping tomorrow, if I can get some of the work done that I need to get done, I'm hoping I can spend some time first organizing my office. Because that really, unfortunately, in the organization priority, I gotta get that one done first. Okay. It's gonna be fun. It's a lighter rag quilt. I think Becky Morton Weeks. I think it was Becky Morton Weeks. I'm not 100% sure. But I think gave me the idea to do 2 layers instead of 3. Just because I think for where we're at, I think we're in Florida. I think we'll get more use out of the 2-layer than a 3-layer. Because it doesn't, I mean, like even now, it was warm today. I mean, it was cooler today, but it was still got warm in the afternoon. And we've been averaging already between, you know, it swings around, but 80, 85, 87, we're getting warm. It's good. So they're repaving the road outside of our house. I only have three left, 4 left. So we're gonna sew these 4 and then I'm done. Billy cabinets. Okay, back to the cabinet thing. You know, they're like cubby holes. And I was thinking like that would be like if I did this wall back here. Could you imagine that? All done with that? Would that be amazing? I'd love it if the top half, if they were tall, you know, pretty tall. If the top half were, or the top 3/4 were Billy cabinets, I guess, is that what you call calyx? I have no idea. I'll have to go on IKEA tonight. But they're the squares, you know, like they look like cubby holes. You know, they're just a square. They're just a whole bunch of squares, open squares, bookshelf. Maybe it was this D today. Anyway. And then maybe in the bottom, I don't know, drawers maybe? Or cabinet? I don't know. Or maybe just all squares. And then in some of them, you know, you could do those little fabric drawers, you know, for stuff that you didn't want, for small stuff or stuff that you didn't want rattling around or whatever, or, you know, whatever. Yeah, that would be really cool. Because right now there's no real rhyme or reason to my fabric. And, you know, I don't really have enough to do it like by color. Somebody posted on Facebook Marketplace that Steve saw that yes, you could have them open or with glass doors or both, such wonderful organizers. And she was selling, she had over like 200, I think is what she said, yards of fabric, 200 different yard lengths or 2 yard. I mean, they were like all either like 1 or 2 yards. And she had so many of them, like 200 of them. And she had them in a bookshelf, you know, like a bookcase, you know, all lined up. But they were all done like color coordinated on it. This stuff's all over the place. And I got lots and lots of pre-cuts. And then I have some stuff that's yardage. And then I get frustrated. I just throw it in a bin. And then I go looking for something. And in order to find what I'm looking for, I have to just demolish the whole bin. And then the mess starts. They're just head cases, that's all. Then I forget and I buy the same thing. Thank you. Thank you. Or I forget that I have something that will go with this. So I go out and buy something totally different. And then after I'm done, I find the original. I'm really hoping, I was hoping that Joann's was gonna, on their regular like cotton or quilting fabric, my sewing room is small. I really want to do away with my downstairs living room and make it a beautiful large sewing room. Yeah. Nobody uses it. I live alone with a large cutting table and such. Oh my gosh. Would that be amazing? Madeline, hello. That would be cool. That would be cool. Huge cutting room. I mean, a huge cutting table. Wowzers. That'd be awesome. I put my fabric on comic boards. I store it in different ways. Color, fabric line. Okay. I got the comic boards. Maybe I need to give them another try. I didn't, I probably didn't give them a fair shot. I know I didn't give them a fair shot on like how I was attaching the fabric to the board, or if I'm just folding it in there. I don't know. I probably need to give them another shot. I have designated closets for fabric. Yeah. Look, in my last house, I had there was a corner of my office. It was a corner of my office. There wasn't even a room. And then I would cut. We used to have a huge dining room table. And then we also had like a little kitchen nook, you know. But when we moved here, we only have a dining room. We have a dining room with a huge island. So our daily stuff we just do at the island. And then we took our table that was in the kitchen nook, made that our dining room table, sold the big kitchen dining room table. Well, the big dining room table was where I used to do my cutting, like big cutting. That's cool. It's awesome. But it was all over, you know, stuff. There was my craft kind of kept spilling all over the house, and I wasn't really crazy about that either, because then if somebody was coming over or whatever, if the girls were coming over, our granddaughters, I would put it all away. So now I have my own sewing room, which I am in heaven about. But I gotta get it under control. There we go. Okay, ladies, I think we've done it. Oh no, I got one more. Don't hang up yet. Don't leave. We got one more. Last one. Last one for me. Then I'm gonna run to the grocery store. I'm gonna go get some American Chinese food. That's gonna be it for me tonight. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be peasy. I may not even have to run the dishwasher. And I absolutely cannot tell you how much I 110% enjoyed tonight. I mean, I enjoy every day that I do videos with you guys, and I was totally stoked on Sunday. I had a blast on Sunday. I might do a live on Sunday. Even though it's the Masters, I might, Steve was saying that it doesn't start until 1, so I might still do a live around 11:30. I mean, I'll have the daily videos up for all the rest of the week, but I really enjoyed this. Awesome. Steve was like, but you're not going to have a project to work on, and blah, 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 and I thought, you know what, this was how I imagined today going. Just to, you know, sew on something kind of brainless. And that's the good thing about like a rag quilt or a jelly roll quilt if you've never done them. It's just mindless stuff. But I hope you enjoyed. It's also part of what I love about the crafts that I do. Crochet, quilting, is sometimes just the non-thinking part of it. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay, so I got my 2 last rows. We're gonna slap those together and finish off the rag quilt. So tomorrow I'll probably finish that one up. I'll probably snip it while we're sitting here. And then I think that's about it. I hope you have a fantastic dinner. I'm going out and get Panda. Call it a night. Have a great night, everybody. And don't forget, only a quarter inch seam. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, Sandra. Love you guys. Bye.